Hey book buddies, it's Katie here, and today I'm going to be vlogging the very fun experience of reading Dead Until Dark, the first book in the Sookie Stackhouse series. The end of August is not too early for my Halloween intro. I appreciate your feedback, but I reject it. So I'm on a quest to read every vampire book that there is. I've just been to the library and I picked up the first two books in the Sookie Stackhouse Southern Vampires series, which was what True Bloods was based off of, and I never watched True Bloods because it looked like trash. But if it is good, let me know. So these books look like trash too, but in kind of a nice way. And I thought I would just read them and then review them, but I was sitting here in the library parking lot and I was just reading the first page of the first book called Dead Until Dark, and I found the line, "You can tell I don't get out much, and it's not because I'm not pretty. I am. I'm blonde and blue-eyed and 25, and my legs are strong and my bosom is substantial, and I have a waspy waistline." And as soon as I read that, I realized that this was going to be a book that I needed to vlog, so we're vlogging. Page 3, a vampire has just walked into a bar and ordered bottled synthetic blood, so I'm already having a great time. I can tell that this author really doesn't like women, because every single woman that the main character has encountered, she is described in a very horrible way, like, oh, that woman's super easy, oh, that woman's been married 4 times, oh, that lady over there is a bitch and a rat. So we love to see that. First of all, these vampires in this book are weak sauce, because this vampire just got attacked by 2 humans and just like was totally overpowered by them, and they're draining his body of blood because vampire blood can be used as a drug in this universe. Yeah, just 2 regular humans. So these vampires are kind of not that cool. But at least it seems like our main character is useful in these books, because she chases these people off with a chain. Just like a metal chain. She runs at them with it. I love that. That's hilarious. She just called the rat bitch a redneck witch. So if you don't address me from now on as a bitch and a rat and a redneck witch, I will not answer. So she saved the vampire by chasing those people off with a chain, and now he is smoking from the skin because they tied him up in silver, and so she's like, oh, you poor baby, and is like gently taking the chains off of his skin. She's called this vampire a poor baby. I relate. His big dark eyes looked into mine. His fangs had retracted. I was a little disappointed about that. Me. Everything about this book so far is me, except for the hating of women. So it turns out that she can read minds. Everyone's except for this vampire's. So that's great news to me. It turns out that every vampire book is the same vampire book, and I love that. However, unfortunately, she says that because she can read minds, she is disabled. So I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I don't think it's good. So now he's trying to flirt with her, and she says, "Now you cut that out," which is just big Velma energy.
In the sun again.
You stop that.
Distinguished viewers, I regret to inform you that this vampire is named Bill. Not William. Bill. Hey, I'm a vampire. My name's Bill. Sometimes I sit and read in my car now, just to feel like I'm out of the house. So quit judging me. We have a description of a new female character here, and it is, she had a square bottom and no ambition. This author also just used the term fang banger. It looks like we're gonna have a love triangle here with Sookie's boss, which I hate. Sookie has had a near-death experience, but she's fine because she drank some vampire blood and she passed out, and when she woke up, Bill, the vampire, was licking her head wound. So very strangely and seemingly apropos of nothing, our author here, Charlene Harris, decides to tell us that this town has accidentally segregated cemeteries. And she just says this for no reason. So, Sookie Stackhouse, your granny is letting you associate with that vampire? So in this universe, vampires are apparently very strong and can like pull out trees and crush cars with their bare hands. So I really don't understand why he was tied up by two humans at the beginning of this book, but whatever. So now Bill is over at Suki's house, just casual. He's basically just a normal person, which I find incredibly boring, but he's talking to her grandmother. So she asked him if he remembered her great-great-great-great-great-grandfather and if he happened to own any slaves. And he's like, yeah, but only two. And she goes, oh, well, that's nice to hear. What the fuck? Bill is like, I wish you would wear a longer dress. I really miss the days when women were modest. Love Interest of the Year award. And Bill was a Confederate soldier. Lovely. Good news, we have a black character. She's a vampire, and Suki has described her as looking cheap as hell. Let's listen to the way she describes women versus the way she describes men. The woman was blonde and plump, 35 or older. She was wearing maybe a pound too much makeup. She looked worn as an old boot. The man was another story. He was lovely. The prettiest man I'd ever seen. It keeps getting worse. It's like she wants to say something insensitive about every single group of people, because we've just met a gay human man who she just assumes out of nowhere that he must have AIDS. So, a woman has been murdered, and the police are here. One of the police officers is a black woman, and the other is a white man. And Suki can read minds, as previously mentioned, and she reads the white man's mind, and he's like, man, I sure hope whoever killed this woman wasn't a black man, because that would just make my relationship with my partner here very tense. I just want to know what? Her boss's name is Sam, and it turns out she can't read his mind either. I honestly keep forgetting Bill is even a vampire. He's just really boring. And his name's Bill. They are at a vampire bar, because that exists. And there's just like a framed picture of Bela Lugosi. And I really like that detail. They left the vampire bar because there was a police raid. Just because I guess vampires are illegal. I don't really understand. Anyways, so Bill is driving Suki away, and then he just decides that they should stop and make out in the car, even though there are cops around. I don't know, it doesn't seem very smart to me. Though most police forces loved having vampires join them on the job, there was a lot of prejudice against vampires on the street, especially as part of a mixed couple. We keep hearing about how pretty Suki is, and I just think it would be really fun, really nice, to one day read a female main character where everyone who interacted with her was just like, wow, you are exceptionally ugly. Like, is that why I don't have a vampire boyfriend? Is it because I'm ugly? Or is it because vampires aren't real? It's like almost 2 a.m. and I have classes tomorrow, so I think I'm just gonna read the second half of this book tomorrow. I'm on page 117 out of 292. Yeah, so I think I can finish this tomorrow. Yay, I'm having so much fun. I do appreciate that we're treated to very in-depth descriptions of every single outfit Suki wears, down to the earrings. I didn't go to sleep, by the way. So Suki's grandma is like a member of this club that are all just super proud of their Confederate heritage? What in tarnation? We are now being treated to a description of her grandmother's club meeting where Bill, who I will remind you was a Confederate soldier, is relaying information about his time, how proud he was to fight for the Confederacy. You know, I thought that making Jasper a Confederate soldier in Twilight was bad, and it was, But this is on some other level. Like, I signed up for vampires, and I got Bill, the Confederate soldier. So she's on a date with Sam, her boss, and he asks her if she has feelings for Bill, and she says, "What's it to you? Like, they're not on a date?" Well, I didn't start reading today until just now, and it's 9:30 p.m., so what do y'all think? How long is it gonna take me? All night? Am I willing to read this all night? I just kind of want it to be over. I keep reading her name as Snooky.
Because they're alive when you kill it.
She just told her coworkers that she's dating a vampire, and one of them said, "I thought you were going to say you were dating a black." I don't have words. I just have anger. Thought you were going to say you were dating a black. What in the actual It's like this has been the exact opposite experience of my Twilight vlogs, because with those I started them expecting to absolutely hate them and then ended up having a lot of fun, and I thought I would have a lot of fun with this book, but I actually really vehemently hate it. Please somebody come get this woman. Who wrote that? Charlaine Harris. Do you ever get so angry that like you start to feel tears, and they're not like there, but you can feel that they're trying to get there? That's how I feel right now. I wish I were reading Twilight right now. Should I just put this up and start reading Twilight? No, so you know what I'm gonna read next? I had originally planned on reading Interview with the Vampire next because I found that at the library, but I think instead it would be more appropriate if after this book I read either Fledgling by Octavia E. Butler, or what is it called? It's by Tananarive Due. I think it's called My Soul to Keep. Yeah, I feel like I definitely need to read a vampire book by a black author after this, because do I need to explain? I looked for both of those books at the library when I went and got these, and of course my small town West Texas library is not very diverse, has kind of a piss poor selection, so I will go to the bookstore tomorrow, and if the bookstore doesn't have either of those books, I'll go to Audible, and yeah, that's what I'm reading after this. Interview with a Vampire can wait. Yes, I have this sort of running list in my mind of all of the vampire books that I've read recently, because I think it might be fun if closer to Halloween I do a tier list of vampire books that I've read, and I can already tell on page 151 that this is probably going to go in the bottom tier. I mean, I guess it could have some sort of redemption, but I really don't feel like it's likely at this point. I'm not having a good time. Just in case you intend to read this, which I don't necessarily recommend, but you live your life the way you want to, we'll just say trigger warning for pedophilia and incest. So they just broke up, and she asked him to please not bite anyone that she knew, and he was like, yeah, sure. In exchange, don't date anyone else, even though they're breaking up, so I love that. She just said my jewelry was all silver, take that, Bill, exclamation point, and I kind of like that a lot. That is one of my favorite tropes, wearing silver to piss off your vampire boyfriend. I enjoy it. Whoever checked out this book before me at the library was eating either hot fries or hot Cheetos, and that's honestly a mood. I do enjoy that they have, like, they use, like, pet names with each other, like Honey and Sweetheart. It's kind of cute. Like, domestic vampires, oh, they even play Scrabble together. Oh, that's so cute. I read so infuriatingly slowly, and I keep getting distracted, but I have, like, 90 pages left, so theoretically, if I can read a page a minute, I can be done with this book in an hour and a half, and it's 2:30 a.m. right now. So it's a little bit of sleep, right? Something bad happened to a pet cat, as if I needed an excuse to hate this book more. Like, why are you gonna do that? It doesn't add anything to the story. What? You just made me sad. The murderer's gotta be Sam, right? Like, who else would it be? Elvis is here now. Like Elvis Presley. And he's a vampire, so... I looked it up on Google just to make sure that it was in fact Elvis and I wasn't just really tired. And it is, but I also accidentally got a spoiler for the show. But anyway, the spoiler that I got, it's like too dramatic for me. I don't have that kind of time or commitment. There is a hotel just exclusively for vampires in New Orleans called The Blood. And, like, what if there were hotels for humans called The Water? She just got a dog, and if anything bad happens to this dog, I'm gonna start a riot. I think this dog is Sam, but I could be wrong. But I think that's what is about to happen on this page. I was right. I was right. The dog was Sam. So I was in the used bookstore for a bit and they didn't have either of the books I wanted. So I'm gonna check Barnes & Noble. I'm determined at this point. And also, I have another question. Why aren't there more vampire books? I mean, like, I know there are a lot. I guess I'm looking for something specific, but it doesn't feel that specific to me. I want a vampire book that's just incredibly angsty, but with a romantic subplot. Because I like those. But I don't want it to be like a romance novel. I just want there to be a compelling romance in it. But mostly I want it to be about the angst and the horror of being a vampire. And I don't know why, but I just like, I cannot find a book that fits that bill for me. Because, so I read Sunshine by Robin McKinley, which I actually enjoyed. It was fun, but it wasn't quite what I wanted. It was close, but it wasn't quite what I wanted. Dead Until Dark, or whatever the fuck I'm reading right now, is awful and not at all what I want. Like, why is the closest thing to what I want Twilight? Like, anyway, I'm gonna go look for the book by Octavia Butler and Tananarive at Barnes & Noble now, I guess. I'm almost out of hand sanitizer. I just put my mask on and then tried to drink my pumpkin spice cold brew and went like, so having a good day. Even Barnes & Noble didn't have them, so Audible it is, I guess. I have 30 pages left of Dead Until Dark, so I guess I will go home and finish it now. Another dead cat, thanks, I hate it. There is another trigger warning for necrophilia. And I'm very annoyed that this author keeps calling it just sex, because that's not what it is, friend. I do appreciate that at least Suki doesn't need anyone to save her. She can save herself, and that's refreshing to see in this type of book. It's done. I did it. Overall, it was fun. It was lighthearted. I understand why people enjoy this series, but it was disappointing for a couple of different reasons. One, it was just like really unnecessarily offensive to a lot of people, and the last time I called a beloved book racist, I got death threats in the comments, so I'm just gonna say that I thought it was in poor taste some of the time. I know that it's set in the South and she's trying to, you know, depict the South, but it was a bit much in my opinion. Also, I found it just a little bit anticlimactic. Like, this series is supposed to be more lighthearted, which I understand, but I think I just wanted something a bit grittier. Like, there was nothing alluring about it, you know, and which is strange for a vampire book, I think. Like, the love interest's name is Bill. He's just a guy. I keep forgetting that he's a vampire anyway. They just started dating for really no reason. They didn't really have good chemistry. They didn't have any time to develop feelings for each other. It was just kind of casual dating throughout, which I guess was kind of nice to see. I suppose you don't see that very often in these types of books. But like, there wasn't a whole lot of vampire angst. There was a mystery in it, which I thought was fine. I thought the mystery element was decent. But yeah, overall I felt a little bit disappointed. I'm gonna give it 2 stars. I went ahead and I checked out the second book from the library when I got this one. So I might read it after I finish Fledgling and the book by Tananarive, and then I have Interview with the Vampire. So after I read those, I might go ahead and read the second one. I do think that the covers of these books are super cute, but I have heard that the show is much, much better than the book. Maybe someday I'll watch the show. I don't know. I just thought it was, yeah, I didn't really have a great time, to be honest, but teach their own. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you all again very soon with a new one. But until then, happy reading.